Welcome to Video Reality Brewing. Yeah, I know, you're looking going, thought I already had one. I do. This is number 2. And I did an unboxing video, but I never posted it. I was still kind of learning the ropes and figured I'll do one now. There's a few questions I've seen out there for new Anvil owners and new brewers using the Anvil system. So I figured an unboxing will be, and this is just what this is, an unboxing. We're gonna go over the basics and only the basics. I've got a review coming, and that's from using the system for over a year. And recently I had some major problems, which I'll go over, but we'll get into that in another video. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing, definitely appreciate it. Also have a vote going out there. If you love beer, pound the like button. Appreciate it. First, this is what it looks like when you get it. It comes in a box like this. And what do we got on the front? Just a picture of the Anvil. So let's spin it around so you can see what it's in the, or what's in the box per se. One thing too, before I get in crazy detail, if your Anvil, when you get it, looks like it's been cut open and resealed, according to John Blickman, that's because you ordered a recirculation pump kit. And if you ordered a recirculation pump kit, when they get the units in the boxes, they pop them open, they drop your recirc kit in there, seal it back up. That's why the box looks like it's been tampered. It wasn't customs. It wasn't your mail person or shipping person digging in, checking out what you got going on or stealing something out of there. It was them adding stuff to it based on what you ordered. If you don't have the recirculation pump, I definitely recommend it, unless you already have a pump you like that you use. And I'm noticing mine has a little sticker on the side saying Anvil Foundry Recirc, so maybe that's what they put on it after they put the pump in, just so they know that it's already in there and they don't cut it open and do it again. As you look on the front, you're gonna see it's a 10.5 gallon, 39 liter total capacity. That is total. Does not mean you're brewing 10.5 gallon batches. They advertise it as being perfect for 5 gallon batches, and I will agree, it is perfect for 5 gallon batches. Can you do a 6? Can you get away with a 6.5? Yeah, and you can lower the ABV and go a little higher based on what you got going on. The one key is it's got a 16-pound capacity for the grains, so you're kind of limited unless you're adding sugar or other things or doing some other tricks of the trade, should we say. Comes with a stainless steel immersion chiller, which we're going to check out, which includes all the hoses, fittings, perforated grain basket. It's like 150% more perforations than the average grain basket. Digital power control for 0 to 100%. Dual voltage, which is a huge reason I use the Anvil. I can go 120 at 1600 watts and 13 amps to 240 volts, which is 2800 watts, and only using 12 amps. And I know a lot of people go, but you're only going to use it. Things change. You move, you sell your house, you have some power related issues, I don't know. It's nice to be able to step from 120 to 240, or because I moved, I was afraid I was going to have to step down to 120. Luckily, I've made a workaround. Just don't do laundry when I'm brewing. It's just no drying clothes. Double wall insulation, which helps with faster heating, maintaining heat temps. 1 to 24 hour temperature delay for the timer. I haven't done that yet, and it's very simple. You hold I believe it's the power percentage for about 3 seconds. It'll prompt up, and then you can plus the hours or minus the hours for the delay. You do preset it to exactly what the temperature is and what you want before you do that. But it's just something to, if you're into that, you want to crank it so that way you go to bed, wake up in the morning, and it's rocking and rolling. I'm terrified of leaving anything that's going to use a lot of power or boil water or anything else like that, unsupervised. So, durable stainless steel construction, rotating the drip tube, and distillation ready. The one thing it does not come with when you order it, if you order it with the recirc, is it does not come with the small batch adapter. I know you may never want to do a small batch, but trust me, get it. It's going to help your brew house efficiency by a little bit. Your mileage may vary. I always tell people that, but from what I've done and what I've tested, it seems to help my brew house efficiencies. I don't know how much based on if it's a small batch or a big batch. I have done one small batch with this, which is pretty cool, and it was nice. They don't recommend anything below 4 gallons without it, but with it, you can easily do 2 gallons. So without further delay, let's cut it open so you can see exactly what comes out of the box, how it comes out of the box, and how well packed it is. Okay, I'm gonna have to set it down, but first I'm gonna show you. During this Anvil unboxing, I'm gonna give away this book, The Complete Joy of Home Brewing. So look for the keyword It's really simple. If you haven't seen the video about the contest, all you have to do is leave a keyword or a key term that I'm gonna give you here towards the end of the video in your comment. And exactly 7 days, I'm gonna randomly pick one person. I'll let a program randomly do the pick, and I will reach out to that person and I will ship you the book. If you're outside the US, you're gonna get a Kindle edition, and we'll just put this one back up for grabs. But this is the Complete Joy 4th edition home brewing, fully revised and updated by Charles Papsian, if I'm saying his name right. So keep watching. Before I break something, you can see there's no tape on the sides, but there used to be. There's only tape coming across the top, which means when they cut it, they open it up, they only slap some tape on the top, which is fine. Didn't have to go much further. And your hands have problems getting into these little holes on the side because it's packed full of styrofoam, which protects everything inside. So let's go ahead and get this open. I'm gonna have to set it down on the floor because the box is huge. And the system is only 33 inches high, so it's less than 3 feet high. But this box is huge. I mean, you could easily ship somebody like Alaska in it. Unless you're in Alaska, then ship them to Florida. No, yeah, I can even see where they cut it. So they cut it a little different than I cut it, but that's all good. And then when you open it, my second box inside, and pull this back up. I'm not killing myself. There we go. You can see there's another box inside. There's styrofoam all packed around it. This was not taped up. And I know people probably get alarmed, but like I said, according to John Blickman, the owner of Anvil Foundry, from my understanding, it's because they added something to it. There's no reason to really, I guess, tape that extra box. It's just one extra piece of tape they didn't need to use. It's just something to be aware of. Okay, on the very top, first thing. It's already perforated. That's gonna sit, and that's part of your recirculation kit. I don't remember how mine came out of the box and where everything was when I opened it up, but that was sitting on top. I do remember, let's see if we can get this out. There we go. And I don't see anything else in the box, so that means everything's inside here, which I kind of remember that part. The other thing is you're gonna have a manual, which is probably in there. I like to print my manuals, but it shows you a lot of assembly, and a lot of that assembly is not necessary because they already assembled it. Okay, first of all, beautiful. Nothing against Anvil or Blickman, but I like to take a quick look and just make sure everything looks like it should on the outside before I tamper with anything, shall we say. I would recommend it with anything you buy that has any substantial cost or price. Nice little warning. I don't remember having that before. Tighten valve before use. Nice little, hey, attention, look, please. The clamps, take them off. Well, you know, release them, don't take them off. And I did see in a video from Anvil / Blickman showing you that, you know, when you're heating up things and things like that, not boiling, just heating, about clamping these back down. The video's kind of dated. Don't do that. There's no reason to do that. If for some reason you crank it way up, yeah, we've already got a warning about that one. You never boil with the clamps on. Ever. Don't. You just don't. You don't want to be in the Darwin Award ceremony for that year. Now this is kind of cool. A little gasket, a little silicone gasket. On my original one, that thing wouldn't stay in there to save its life. It would fall out. A lot of people pointed out, unless I was doing something else with it, there was zero purpose of leaving that in there, so I took it out and left it out. But this one's in there and it seems to be stuck in there, which is kind of nice. Not too gonna worry about it. If it falls out, it falls out. Danger, do not boil with lid on. Surface may be hot. Read manual before use. Now, they already had a warning up here that says, you know, do not touch and all this stuff. But now they've had to put another warning with this nice bright red on it, just to kind of say, hey, don't be an idiot. Use some common sense, okay? I have sympathy for people who get hurt and have to heal, but I have no sympathy when they do stupid things without thinking first. I'm just as guilty, and I don't expect any sympathy when I do something stupid. So, sorry. Okay, We've got some goodies right on top. I'm going to assume this is the recirculation pump. Wrapped in a nice giant big bag. Sorry about the bag noise. Yep, got my pump. I open up in here. Oh, I see it. I'm looking for a few things that I know should be in there. First of all, get the pump. I'll pull it out because we're going to want to look at everything. Assembly and maintenance of the pump. One more thing, like I said, you don't need to assemble it, but it's nice that if you take it apart, you can look at the manual and go, oh, yeah, I got to put it back together. One piece that fell off of mine, and I didn't realize it, and I've seen multiple people in the past lose theirs and not know that it fell off, is this little tiny, what they call thrust washer. If that falls off, the pump will continue to work, but it'll make noise and kind of shake, and it just, something's not right. It's that thrust washer. You need that in there. It's not a big deal. You can order more if you do lose it. Mine went down the drain, guaranteed. On here, you got some more components. This is only if you get the recirculation kit. You can buy it after the fact, but honestly, yeah, get it. If you don't already have something, get it. If you do have something, you can buy some of the parts, but I'm gonna open this up because this is why you're looking at this video. You want to see exactly what you're going to get in the equipment. Okay. A little splash pan per se. Basically helps to disperse the water nicely. I don't know why, I need to check mine. This just feels different than mine. And it's very shiny. I'm not sure why it's so shiny. I almost feel like I gotta peel off that plastic stuff. It's just incredibly shiny. My old one is not that shiny. On this, it should be approximately 4 feet of hose. Yeah, it's probably about 4 feet. I'd have to measure it. But what you're gonna wanna do, you can use a razor blade, sharp knife, or hose cutting tool. And you're gonna wanna measure a foot. And you're gonna wanna put that on there and cut exactly 1 foot, make sure it's as even as possible. The short piece will go directly from your spigot to the pump. And I'll take this out of the plastic bag. Coming in right here. And then the other piece will go here and go back up, have this on one end, and go into the actual anvil, and that's how it goes. I'm gonna put everything together so you can see, but we'll do that after we take everything out of the box. These are your clamps, they're plastic. They can be a pain, they can drive you a little nuts. You can change out and use a different type of clamp. I like these, they seem to work really well. I figured Blickman tried different things, considered the metal ones. So I bought a couple spares. So I have a little set of spares with these, just like I said, I had another item. The one thing I will tell you that I'm looking at, and I know it's gonna drive me nuts because it's already driving me nuts on the other one. So you get this little eye screw with an eye. I'm not a mechanical person, so understand that. You put one nut on, you poke it through, and you put the other nut on, okay? Which actually, I want the shiny side up, just because it's pretty. The problem with this is that you will be adjusting this for the rest of your life because it will constantly come loose. So my recommendation, which I have not done myself personally, is get yourself a locking washer. Those little washers kind of got a bend to it, and probably put one on both sides. That's my theory. Like I said, I'm not real mechanical. If you have a suggestion that you think works better, put it in the comments below. But that way you won't constantly have to tighten this thing. Hopefully it'll stay tight. It can be, yeah, like see, I just had it tight and then I move it and there it goes. It's already loose again. So it's a little annoying. It's designed, I guess, so you can take it off and not have it on there for whatever possible reason. This little thing, I will warn you, I have almost lost it too many times to even imagine or count. This is a restrictor. And it goes on the hose near the top to cradle back pressure and reduce and restrict the amount of liquid, because of course you don't want to be dumping the pump is not adjustable in speeds. It's just one pump, that's it. It does a great job. But if you do full force, you're going to pack your grain bed down, and you don't want to pack the grain bed down. So you want to reduce by restricting the flow. You could adjust the spigot, but like I said, I'm not a mechanical person. I'm told that can damage the pump. So I'm told never do that. Leave that full open, restrict it on the outflow, not on the inflow. It could damage the pump. Like I said again, I'm not a mechanical person. I am telling you from people who seem to know a lot more about that than I do. Everybody has their thing, and that is not mine. So that is something to be aware of. Let's get this out of the way so we can get the goodie. And we got more goodies first. Okay. First, it comes with, like I said, here's your manual. Now you understand why I said print it out? Yeah, much easier. Or, you know, you can sit on a computer and read it, but I like print it. So that's really small. I can at least read that. You have your stainless steel Immersion Chiller, which, no offense, again, to Blickman, I wish I would get like a small credit on this and not get this. It's nice if you don't have anything and you don't want to spend a lot more money, but honestly, yeah, we'll talk about it in a review. It's nice. Hey, I have a chiller, great. Everything can be upgraded, everything can get better. Now, the one thing I do like that they do with their chiller, I'm sorry for the noise with all the plastic. No, they put more than that in here. They put a few things in here. Okay, I'm sorry, it's literally, that's one of the jokes about it. It's like a slinky. And when you do hook this all up, you see the spiral part? The cold water comes in here, goes down, and then the hot water comes back out. So don't go down, up. I'm told this is the better way to do it, from this side to that side. If you have a better reason, comment. Make that thing get quiet because it'll drive me nuts. Okay, here's what I'm talking about though. It comes with the little clamps. It comes with the garden hose connector, and it's nice. It's very nice. It's brass, from what I can tell. It's got the O-rings. It's got everything you need to hook this up to a garden hose. If you're one of those people who brews in your kitchen, yeah, I can't imagine if your house smells like beer all day long, but I've done a few small batches, but I have to air the house out really good or my wife will kill me. So, very simple. Goes on a garden hose, looks like that. You put one end of the hose on here, put the other end on here, and then you have the other part of the hose, which it looks like they've already pre-cut it, come out and go down. So this will hang over the anvil. That way you don't get any of the water into your actual brew. It's just there to help cool the wort. But this is very nice. Whether you use this for this or something else, this is very nice. Now, you got a few things, and this was all with the hoses. So keep in mind, when you pull the hoses out, you go, where's the rest of stuff? This is the pieces for the spigot. We'll go into that in a minute. Here's the feet, and we'll go into that in a minute. So I'm going to take this, because it's going to make a lot of noise and drive us all nuts, and move it out of my way. I have to look at my other one. It looks like they did a lot more spot welding on the feet than on my original one. But they look the same. This handle is flat right here. It's so you can put the lid on, keep the heat in. Originally it was rounded, and when you had the little ring, it would not sit down. It would hit the edge of the ring and stand up, and you couldn't put your lid on, so you had to take the ring out. But this is your grain basket. As you can see, it's got perforated edges all the way around. Got a little dent there, I'm not sure why. It just does. So they look pretty kind of major dents. I mean, that's minor, that's very minor, I'm not worried. I won't even see that down the road. I'll be brewing and rocking and rolling. But as you can look around here, the other thing I just realized, it doesn't have the little pieces that stick out that hit on the ring. Kind of sucks. I was hoping to buy a spare ring and consider using the ring too, but hey. So it's missing, so I have to use the feet. So I'll set that right there. But that is your grain basket. This, when you go, you'll see that one pin is a little further out than the other. You bring it in like that. Go in and turn and set it down. it helps to block these extra holes to reduce the flow, forcing the wort to go all the way to the bottom and come out. And as we come around, you'll see where they seamed it. You'll have a little gap. That's where the gap is where that seam is. So that way it blocks the holes completely. If for any reason that this is not bent properly, and I'm already looking at mine and this piece always seems to be bent in a little more, you just bend it out really, really slow and take your time doing it and test it. Test it. It takes a while and you can get it just perfect if it is bent a little bit, but not a big deal. Let's swap this. Since this did not come with it, I had to buy this extra. This is extra for a small batch, or like I said, it will increase your efficiencies a little bit. Your mileage may vary, but I highly recommend it. And I don't highly recommend a lot, but I definitely highly recommend that. Kind of weird opening a toy. I mean, usually you get really excited. I am excited, but I already have this toy, so it's a little diminished, but still excited. Happy to see it. And yes, I will always recommend also testing a fake, what I call fake batch, or basically run through an entire brew day without anything in it but hot water, just to make sure. And when you're doing that, you can do the passivation and everything by do a little PBW, make sure everything's, any kind of residual oils from machining is out and everything's clean. And then you do your star sand, rinse it really good. You shouldn't need to scrub anything. I mean, I wouldn't mind wiping mine down as far as well, it's hot and soapy, and then wiping it down again. But just something to be aware of. And drum roll. And I'm already losing things. I already see a washer I dropped and I'm not sure. I'll have to see where that goes. Here's the beast. And I think usually there's a little piece of plastic on top of that. I usually leave it until it starts to pop up a little bit. But it's nice and shiny, it's all pretty, it's already got fingerprints from me on it. The big thing that is back here, if you've seen Short Circuit Brewing, I hope you have. If you haven't, he'll tell you, don't cut this. Don't cut this. I didn't cut mine. Instead of cutting this, he shows you how to make a nice adapter. I made my own, but yeah. So I have this that I can plug that into. And then I have this that goes into the 240. So I can use 240 if I have it available. That's why I had the screwdriver. I knew there was a reason. And I did this on my original one and lost the screw immediately. So mine just, goes back and forth. Okay, if you want to win this book, really, really simple. In the comment, leave a comment down below and put the word Anvil Foundry. Just Anvil Foundry in your comment. It can be at the end, in the beginning, in the comment, I don't care, but put the word Anvil Foundry. Exactly 7 days from the date and time that video was posted, I'll run a little search on the comments and randomly pick a winner, and they will get either this book, or like I said, if you're outside the US, you will get a Kindle edition. Let's keep on with the video. Seems a little longer, but probably the same. And this slides out of the way. Down is 240, up is 120. It's preset for 120. So if you're going to use 240, you need to take the screw out and flip it to 240. I do recommend making sure for a fact you plug it into 240. You don't want to damage it. You can buy one of those little tiny testers that when you plug in, it says it's 120 or 240, and you can plug it in to where this is going to get plugged in first, especially if you do your own wiring, just to make sure you didn't cross something. That way you know for a fact you're good, no issues. We'll put that back to 120 for now. I'll slide that down. Here's your vents. I got some, looks like some sort of seal stuff that's sticking off when they put everything together. Not a big deal. Show you the inside. I'll do it on, that way I don't damage it. You can see the spigot in there, and we'll try to do some little videos that you can kind of scope it out. The spigot in there can be turned like that. Maybe a little better that way. But because I can turn it, it'll help reduce all the sediment that would normally come up. This lid, this piece comes out. So you can unscrew it. Somebody mentioned putting a bung and a bubbler on there, but I mean, you gotta close that little hole too. So I would warn you about fermenting or doing anything where you seal this up 100%. I have seen people where it gets really warm, they have everything going, and then it cools down. And when it does, it's actually pulled in the metal and made it look very bizarre and damaged their equipment. It is double walled, so you're probably never going to get it out properly. Just be careful. I won't say don't do it, because if you feel like you know what you're doing, go for it. Be careful, don't damage your equipment. Just to be aware of it. We're going to go down some of the specs really quick, because I know a lot of people have questions that maybe haven't purchased one and are considering purchasing one. Okay, real quick, the dimensions, because I know a lot of people wonder, but tank diameter, 12.5 inches. Distance from handle to handle, 17 inches. The height of the whole system is 33 inches or 29.75 without the lid, because the lid is approximately 3.25 inches in height. Your spigot is about 7 inches from the bottom, and I can't remember if that's from here to here or here to here, but it's close enough. Weight, shipping weight, 38 pounds. That way, if you're buying from someone else or they've got to ship it, you can look and see what it's going to probably cost you to get it shipped to you. If you're buying it from any of the vendors, such as Adventures in Home Brewing, More Beer, not sure, I think Great Fermentation sells it, any of the companies, or if you're buying it direct from Anvil, all of it ships direct from Anvil, and Anvil, the shipping is included. So, which is kind of nice, since there is MAP pricing with them and their competitors. You're not going to get it cheaper anywhere. I will say, if you can buy it from somewhere like Adventures in Home Brewing, they will give you points, which you can use to buy other stuff by getting little gift certificates worth of money. It's awesome. Sometimes it's easier to go to the source. Sometimes it's easier to go third party. My first one I actually got off eBay because there was a huge shortage and nobody was getting them because there was a shortage. Everybody wanted them. And I don't think Anvil had expected it to do as well as it did. Otherwise, they would have had more units. That's just my theory there. Okay, key features. And these are I understand there is a competitor out there that makes a great system, Brewzilla, but there are key features I liked about this system over the Brewzilla, and that's why I chose the Anvil. Both of them have great features. Just number one feature that I liked about the all-in-one system from Anvil was switchable, like I mentioned, from 120, 1600 watt, 13 amp, to 240, 2800 watt, 12 amp. A little less amperage, but a lot more wattage. You can get faster heating, better boils. I mean, just everything's faster because it's going to cut time down almost in half. Does a magnificent job at 240. I have actually no, I did. I brewed the first few batches on 120 and it went well. Even felt like the boil did pretty good, but at 240, it's amazing. A unique high flow grain basket, which you've seen. It's nice because it helps to pretty much eliminate stuck mashes, but pretty much, yeah, no guarantee. And like I said, that small batch adapter is huge. If you are good at what you're doing, you're putting some rice hulls in there and you're going to give the grain bed a minute to sit for a second, and you're not going to nail it with a bunch of water. Yeah, you'll be fine. Just get the small batch adapter. You'll appreciate it and you'll thank me later. It's got, I don't understand this. This is out of my wheelhouse. Linear digital power control and solid state switching for fine tuning. A very simple control system. You got Fahrenheit and Celsius, you got power. The power turns it on and also gives you turns on the percentages. So you can say, I want less power, I want more power, and you can go from 0, which means no power, all the way to 100%. And then you get your plus and minuses. So you're sitting on your temperature, you can increase or decrease your temperature, and then you can tell it you want 100% so you can get there quickly. I will say that during some of the mashes, and even for some people, the boils, need to turn that power back down. Otherwise, it may spike a few degrees higher than where you really wanted it to be, because it's trying to accommodate by, how do you say, running it at full force instead of just giving it a little nudge to keep the temperature in line. So it makes perfect sense why 50% or 65% works better when you're trying to maintain a mash temperature over 100%. If I'm trying to screw something in, why would I go get a hammer and beat on it? So yeah, I get it. As I showed you, the lid is adjustable, changeable, take it off, whatever. This entire system is Turbo 500 distillation ready. So if you're looking to do some distilling, or you're just wondering, hey, down the road, I wonder if I could use that to learn how to do distilling. Yeah, your laws may vary, but hey, it is what it is. Includes a high capacity stainless steel chiller, high capacity, high flow. Yeah, with hoses and fittings, the chiller is very nice. Don't get me wrong, and stainless looks nice compared to my copper. It looks nice, it stays shiny, but I like my jaded brewing Scillas. I'm sorry, it's just, like I said, everything can be upgraded to some degree, and Blickman has had several versions, should we say, of their anvil. This used to be down here. Oh crap, got a big old dent right in the bottom. That's not good. That's very upsetting, but that's not good. I will see if there is a way I can pop that out. I've never taken the bottom off of these. Never needed to. Like I said, look at everything. I wonder if I did that lean now. I did not see that at all. I'll have to look back at the video, but I did not see that. Okay, well, we'll rock on. There are two sizes available. You can get the 10.5, which is what this is, 10.5 gallon. 5 gallon batches is what it's recommended for. 6.5 gallon size does 2.5 to 3 gallon batches is what that's recommended for. Very easy system to use. Max grain capacity, like I said, is 16 pounds. The Foundry, basically they recommend, minimum batch size of 4 gallons, unless you get a small batch adapter, then you could do 2.5 or even 2 gallon batches without much effort. I've done, I think 2.5 gallon was my smallest batch I've done so far as a single batch. So now I'm dying to look back at the video and see if I did that or it was already there. I'm pretty sure it was already there because I didn't hear any noise, and that because it's not, I don't think it's double walled like it is up here. That I can probably push out. I'm hoping I can. So I'm gonna pause for a minute. We're gonna put some things together so you can see how everything goes. Oh, actually, your on-off switch, you have 2 resets. You have your power reset right here, and you have another reset down here. I've only recently had to hit the resets. This is a circuit breaker one. This one is, if you're hitting this and you're not getting it to reset or stay reset and the temperature keeps going down, you've probably got scorching on the bottom, which is very uncommon. Unless you're dumping in a lot of wheat, or you're dumping in some extracts and you're not stirring it as you're pouring it in, then it can settle on the bottom and scorch it. Once you've scorched it, this reset is kind of a dumb switch until you've rubbed it and cleared that off the bottom. So if you have a good brew paddle with a nice flat end, wood, rub, don't do it with metal, you're gonna scratch it. Just certain things you don't wanna do. So go out on Facebook under the Anvil group. You'll find Anvil Foundry group, and you'll see we have an unofficial version of the Anvil Foundry manual, and it's got some great insights, some great information. It'll definitely help you. Okay, I put the feet on, and if you read the instructions, it tells you to have the screw heads on the outside where, you got the little Phillips and you tighten it all up. I did it the opposite. Reason being is that if I ever want to put a brew in a bag instead of in the main system, but actually in the malt basket, the problem with that is it's going to catch on these, on the ends of the screws, and it's going to snag it and it's going to tear it. And that's been a complaint from people who have decided to put a brew in a bag inside of the malt basket. Don't see why I would need to do that, but if I decided to, I just want to have it that way. Plus, I figured it was a little easier for me to tighten it. I can put the screwdriver in there and I can see the nuts a little easier than trying to reach inside. So for me, it just made more sense. But my recommendation is if you ever plan on trying to use a brew in a bag inside the malt basket, put the screw heads on the inside and the nuts on the outside. That way you won't snag your bag. And I can't imagine what these could ever snag on the outside. So to me, that's the best way of doing it. Also, I assembled everything else so that you can see what it looks like. Very simple, nothing special. I mean, everything is very, very simple. And I love these because you can just take them off and you can clean the whole system. It makes life really easy. They don't so much show this in any kind of recommendation, but a lot of people do this when they put their recirculation on, and then it goes through this hole so that it can recirc. I like doing that because that way if I go to pick it up, it's one extra thing it can hit and catch on and not just fall down. I have had issues where I wasn't paying attention and this was sitting something like this, and I've kicked on the recirc and, you know, yeah, we'll just say I made a mess. So that is one thing. Like I said too, the restrictor, it's better to have it super, super snug. When you start it up, you open this up, you hit the little switch, you turn on your pump, and that way it's gonna slowly go across the top of this screen, and you can open it up slowly. If you haven't seen a picture before, the screen literally sits right inside. If I can do this without it falling, there we go. There is a tiny lip all the way around the edge that helps to catch it, so not a problem. That big dent that was here, yeah, that came out of the box that way. Some quality control. I think Mr. Blickman may need to reach out to the manufacturers who are making the main system and say, hey, what the heck's going on here? If it had happened to here where you have the double wall and the body, I would be calling Anvil and asking to swap out the part because, yeah, that would be unacceptable on a new unit. It does kill me to have two little dings here. I did flip it upside down. I pulled 3 screws out. I opened the bottom. I've never actually needed to do that, so I've never done it. Didn't really like the way some of the metal brackets were hanging. I think there must be a better way of doing that. But when you do remove that bottom piece, it will loosen it from this too. So you're separating it into 3 sections. So you want to have it upside down with this piece resting on top of this piece. And you need to tighten each screw slightly as you line them up and put it back together. If you try to do one, you're not going to get the other 2. It's going to be a nightmare because the brackets that they go in are kind of, I don't know what you'd say, but very loose, and they pull and they snug up. So yeah, it was a little bit of a pain, but I figured it out. I pushed the dent out, and when I went to push it out, it popped out. It was pretty loud. So I know I definitely didn't do that, and I looked back at the video and it came out of the box that way, so it definitely wasn't me. I can live with it, not a big deal. I'm not gonna try to do anything because I don't want to deal with time or delays. And like I said, it's cosmetic, it's fine. If it was up here, yeah, that would be another story. If it was a big giant dent like that in the main body, I would definitely be reaching out to Anvil to get it taken care of. Cheers, and I hope you enjoyed the unboxing. I hope it gave you a little bit of information. There are several other videos out there. Some I would definitely recommend, and I will leave links down in the description for you to check them out. Just great videos, especially if you're just buying an Anvil, you're a little newer to brewing. It's a great system. It does a great job. And like I said, you know, cosmetic, but if it was in the body, it'd be a little more of an issue. But overall, I got all the parts. Everything is easy to assemble. It works. I'm already getting ready to lose the screw from 120 to 40. I lost the last one. I'm really not worried. It's a little flap, who cares? But yeah, I definitely like the system. It is my second one. And hopefully you'll check out that review. I'm gonna do a year in review. I'll have this one sitting nearby, and I'll have my one that I've been brewing with for actually quite a few months, over a year. I think it's 2 or 3 months. Got it in March or April of last year in 2020. Replaced 2 Grainfathers, which are gone. And now I'm 2 Anvils, so I'm very excited. Thank you again. Thank you for joining Bitter Reality Brewing. Cheers.